Hello and welcome back to the Gamer's Tale, brought to you by TGR. Unfortunately, I'm solo tonight. Mr. Wadsworth is unavailable due to some family issues, and our hearts are with him on that. Hopefully he gets that all sorted out. Hopefully, also, as I fly by the seat of my pants and use unfamiliar technology, I'll be at least to keep you entertained for the next hour. And if you hear anything in the background, that's my fan. It sounds like a small airplane. Uh, Now to the news. We'll be having news, then we'll be having a quick review of some of the things in RPG's history. And if it sounds like I'm nervous as hell, that's because, well, I'm nervous as hell. In the news, War Thunder, my favorite online RPG, is having its newest update rollout, 1.59 Flaming Arrows. Came out a week or so ago, when before this had come out, and it adds several new vehicles to the game, and it's pretty much, well, in my opinion, it has kind of buggered up. Gaijin has buggered up on this particular part of War Thunder. Now, I have no qualms with them adding rocket tanks to the lineup. They've had them before, and they're just expanding the class. What I do take a bit of a disagreement on is the use of their newest add-on that they said they were going to roll out, which was medical kits. A similar plan had been used previously, and they called it Last Man Standing. In Last Man Standing, in realistic mode, the last crew member was allowed to switch between driver positions and the position of gunner. Now, this made the game that much harder because usually the tank was deactivated after it fell below 2 of its crew members, and an automatic kill would have been known and quickly dispatching of the enemy. This, the current state of Last Man Standing has been removed because it made the games drag on. And a lot of people hated the Last Man Standing perk. And this this new trauma pack is going to be applied after the second to last character in the tank dies. So once he dies, he's then revived quickly using the trauma pack to bring the tank back into the fight. Now, one of the commentators have referred to this as Necromancer BS. Now, I can understand why he would think that. This would make games take so much longer, and it would add such an advantage to the people who have just gotten killed that it would be unfair in and of itself, because someone could KO a tank. I think they KO a tank, drive by it. The tank then becomes active again and shoots them in the back. That's just not how it works on the battlefield. Now, I agree with if they had trauma packs, because that's realistic. People use trauma packs. They're going to need medical assistance on the battlefield. Now, if they had used it earlier on, but then before the second to last character dies in the tank, then I could understand the trauma packs. I could understand their use and their place in the RPG world. This is a very, very ludicrous idea, in my opinion, because they had tried something similar, and it failed, and everyone hated it. Now, not to say that everything with 1.59 rollout is going to be terrible. Oh no, they're going to add a new a new garage for both your airplanes and your tanks, and it looks sweet as can be, and it's the most beautiful graphics you could see. Unfortunately, my primary computer crapped out on me, and I have to get it fixed, and most likely I have to download all 9 gigabytes of War Thunder. But I must tell you, the RPG is totally worth it just because of the history and the gameplay that you can have within that game. It's just fantastic. other than questionable ideas of War Thunder's Gaijin staff on what they think the players actually want, because they've changed the interface so much. Is I got into playing it last year, not even barely into the middle of last year, and they've changed it 2 to 3 times, and it's become so clunky and unrelatable that, well, they think they're advancing it, they're actually detracting from the game, which I hate when people do that, especially games like RuneScape, when it was fun and awesome, and then they change it to make it like something else and makes it totally unawesome. Speaking of new and rather awesome things, we have news from the new first-person shooter RPG. I think it's an RPG anyway. Overwatch. You've probably seen the loads of ads on it online and new commercials on TV. From EGMNow.com brings that Blizzard is having no qualms about banning people for even using just basic RPM tools, whatever that means. That's supposed to mean something to people more technically advanced than I. They are taking a no tolerance policy on cheaters. They reportedly, when this news was new, which was 2 to 3 weeks ago, 1,500 names have been shared on Blizzard's China forums calling out the people who are supposedly cheating on the new system, the new game. And it's trending on Facebook that one of the supposed gamers, a female one, 17 years old, has been cleared of all charges of cheating after she posted a skills video, apparently, showing that no, she's not cheating, she is just that good at the game. So the old meme holds true. You either die in the new brush or survive enough to become a hacker or be called a hacker. I forget what it was. Another good classic RPG, I must say. I kind of fell in love with it when I found a ROM of it online. There's another Harvest Moon coming out for, I believe it was DS and several other platforms. It's called Skytree Village. Now, if you have never encountered Harvest Moon before, I suggest that you at least take a look at some of the older games, maybe even this new one, especially this new one. It is a lovely, lovely little RPG about let's put it this way, you're a farmer, and it is a realistic farm simulation. That's what it is. You have to run a farm, not go into debt, and not be totally an idiot and spend yourself into oblivion. The thing with that is that it's so hard to get started in the early parts of the game, at least the one that I played, that it's an adventure. You can plant crops, and you have set growing seasons. It is so fantastic that it was quaint in its way. I don't know why I found it so appealing that I had to work the land and then sell my goods at market, or technically I just tossed them into a box that somehow got me money. No one ever actually appeared to pick up the thing. They said the truck, as they called it, appeared between, I believe it was 6 p.m. So I was burning the midnight oil as I went to the local mine and spent most of my time collecting ores, copper, tin, whatever you, and selling those compared to actually planting crops and selling them. But you had a dog, you had your little farm, you had to clear the land. It was so compelling to me in the complexity yet the simplicity of it. You had to care for your animals, you had to produce your own lumber, produce hardwoods, even water the plants daily, unless you wanted to fail, which was, let's face it, seeing as I survived mostly off of mining ores, I was a rather crappy farmer in Harvest Moon. But yeah, this new one looks promising. Anything with Harvest Moon I would probably suggest trying, because it's just a different experience. It's not, I'm going to go out and fight something and I'm going on an adventure kind of RPG. It gives you a look into a life that you would not normally have, that you would be able to experience the life of a farmer without actually being a farmer. Of course, you may not know this, but I live on a farm. I don't farm. I live here. It's just a farmhouse. But I'm surrounded by crops throughout the seasons, and it looks so barren here in the winter that I understand the processes that you have to go through in Harvest Moon. Something that I was not able to experience in my real life. You have to milk the cows, care for the chickens, assemble, build onto your house, not assemble your house. But the oddest thing that they had in that house was that you had a sock hook. I mean, who hangs their socks on a hook? It's just weird. The hardest part in that game was clearing the land, because you had to have a special hammer to break rocks. But in order to get an upgraded hammer, you had to dig down and not become exhausted while going deeper into the mine to find better ores. And then coming out, hiring a blacksmith to affix a new head to your hammer or any of your tools so that they performed better and more efficiently. The only problem was that if it was a tool that you had to use daily, you were out that tool for 2 to 3 days. It was a major pain in the tuchus in that respect, but realistic. Moving on from, I will admit that, totally rambling analysis of Harvest Moon, there is a new D&D coming out in September. It's the 5th. Storm King's Thunder. It's giant themed, and it looks D&D. I'm not that into D&D. It looks like it's a compelling story. The storm gods are mad at the giants, or they forsake the giants. The giants are mad. Everyone's in an uproar. They also have Icons of the Realms coming out with it, with an interset. A board game based off of Storm King's Thunder. The artwork they had on the boxes, one of them, I would swear, was straight Warhammer 40,000. It looked like a Chaos Space Marine in a skirt on the front as a giant, which I will admit that was a little lame, but use what you got. This is 5th set of Icon of the Realms, and is planned to be released in early 2017. So for those of you who want to add on to your collection, or think that the use of miniatures, want to add on to your D&D collection, this is obviously a must-have. Probably is going to run you probably $80 because everything costs a lot these days. And it brings up an interesting concept that I had read before the last Galactic Roundtable Gamer's Tale, and I didn't get to bring up. But I was really wanted to bounce this off Wadsworth or anyone. Anyone can talk about it if they want. Leave it on our page, The Gamer's Tale. You can bring the comments there if you hear this. That was, the guy posited the question in his blog article. I didn't read it. The title was enough for me.